Hey graphic designers, Erica Fecco here with the week 1 assignment demo. We are going to be creating, editing, and moving shapes in Illustrator. For this assignment, you'll be creating 3 artboards. So let's go ahead and jump right in to Illustrator. If you do not already have it, there's an announcement on how to get it and how to download it. So you are definitely going to need to do that to complete all the work in this class. So let's go ahead and create new. And when we look back at our requirements, it's 8.5 by 11, and it wants 3 artboards. So you want to make sure that 3 is checked here. And hit create. What I like to do with my assignments to always make sure that I get everything done that needs to get done is I copy over the requirements into the document so I don't have to keep going back and forth. And it also provides me a little checklist of things that I need to do. So this is what I just copied over. And we are going to start off with the first artboard. If your interface does not look the same, you can come up to the top and change your style of interface depending on your liking. But you want to make sure that you have your artboards and also your layers. So we are going to start off with artboard 1. And our requirements for artboard 1 is 2x2 drawing of a square and a circle. We're going to be using our shape tool here. And first we'll start off with our rectangle tool. There's 2 different ways to do it. You can simply just click right onto the screen and your rectangle options will come up asking you for the width and the height. And we want 2x2 and just click OK. Another way to make the square also is clicking right onto the artboard and dragging. And depending, you will need to make it 2x2, so you can double click or click onto it and go to the transform options. Up here at the top is one area, or you can also have your panel open with your properties as well to make that 2x2. And another way is to just hold down the shift in that key and it'll make a perfect square. And you can see the numbers there increasing until you get to 2x2. So let's also make a ellipse. That's 2x2, a circle, in other words. So I'm going to click that on, make sure that that's 2x2 also, and have that on the artboard. Okay, so we did the first thing, guys. It's already done. 2x2 drawing of a square and a circle. Done. I can remove it. Next one, we're going to do a 5-point star, a 7-point star, and a 10-point star. So let's go on to our star tool. And again, a few different ways to do this, guys. I think the easiest and fastest, personally, is just clicking right onto the board, and you can choose your points here of how many points you want on your star. 5-point we will start with, and depending on how far you want your points of your star to go in and out, you can change your radius, but we'll just leave it as the default and click OK. So there's our 5-point star. Another way to do that is by clicking and dragging, and while you are holding down the mouse, you can go up arrow or down arrow to add or remove as many as you like. So let's start off with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's our 7-point star. And then we also need a 10-point star. So I'm just going to do it. Personally, I like going this way, this route. It does not require it to be any certain size. So I'm going to make them this one big because I like it. All right, so we have our 5, our 7, and our 10-point star. That item is done. Let's go ahead and take that off. We need to use make a triangle using the polygon tool. So let's go onto our polygon tool right here. Same thing, you just click and we want a triangle. How many sides does this triangle have? Do you guys remember geometry? 3 sides. All right, so there is our triangle. And so that task is done. And then we're going to give each a different fill and no outline. So over on the left panel here, so I keep going back to this selection tool. This is pretty much your move tool. You can select and deselect things. The quick, fast way to get to it is just by hitting the V and you'll automatically go to that tool. So you want to make sure that you are on the selection tool while you're using this, because that will determine which one you are changing. So I'm going to come over to this area for our fill and the outline. We do not want any stroke or outline on our items, so we're going to leave that with the red mark going through it. But it's asking us to make these different colors. So I'm going to pick a few different colors. I'll make this one, this one, let's do a, oh, deselect it and choose another color for each one. I'm gonna leave maybe one black. If you want more colors, you can double click and choose through here. I think I really want a nice bright green. These are all kind of in the same color category. So I think I definitely want a nice brighter blue color. And then maybe this one, I will maybe keep that one black. Awesome. So they are all different color with no outline, which is the stroke. So you're going to arrange these shapes in a design on the artboard. So I'm going to move this over because I don't want that in my design. Maybe zoom out a little bit. And let's arrange these in a fun way. I think I might want to overlap them and stack them. And the way that you could tell by what is in front of one another, there's a few different ways to look at it. You can come over to your layers, drop this down, and it has each individual item that you have on your artboard in here. You can turn them on and off. You can move the direction of them. And also another way to do that is also you can go to the object and arrange, and you can bring it to the front, send it to the back, any way that you want to move it. So I'm going to, and sometimes when you double click, you actually go into that item itself. And you want to make sure that you don't get stuck in there, and make sure that you come back here and go back to your top layer so you know where you're working. So I'm going to kind of center everything around this guy. I want this kind in the middle. And again, you can do anything you like with your design. It's yours. So make it however you like. Just making sure that you stay in those requirements of that was on the list. So this needs to stay 2 by 2. I'll make this guy bigger. And we'll just have some of these shapes kind of out on the outside. But just having it in some sort, you can also right click. This is kind of one of the faster ones, and bring it to the front. There's the commands for it, the keystroke commands. Guys, don't get too caught up on the keystrokes command right yet. You're just learning, so I would probably say learn the interface first before you start really worrying about some of those shortcuts, because sometimes it's better to know where they are here instead of trying to memorize all these shortcuts, okay? All right, so I think that looks kind of cool. Let's just leave it at that because I want this demo to be short. All right, so, but I don't want it to be terrible, so I'm gonna bring that out. All right, that looks kind of cool. Let's go on to artboard number 2. So our artboard 1 is done. Artboard 2, we can arrange, oh, we already did this. Arrange the shapes in an interesting design. All right, artboard 2, we're going to add 2 or more rectangles. So let's get over to our tools again, and let's start adding some rectangles. You can also maybe select 2 of these. So at least you have to have at least 2. I'm gonna put a bunch on here and make some type of pattern going across the side. Let's get rid of those. All right. And if I want to select multiple things, I can click and drag my direct and choose that. Here's a fun align one. I always do aligning. Align is one of your design principles that you guys are definitely going to get into in other classes, but it's always good to start thinking about them now. Alignment is essential in design. So you want to think about how you can design them with that in mind. All right, so let's keep those, and we're going to, now we have our rectangles done. Let's add 2 or more ellipses. They don't have to be, they can be any size or shape that you want. I'm going to go ahead and change the color now. Oops, I have the text selected, so it changed my text color. Woo! Always go back to your select tool and deselect. You can click on the board or Control D. Let's see, so I want to get our ellipse tool. I'm going to put a few of these out here. I think I'm going to kind of have them. And I think I only want 3 of these for now. Okay. This is going to start getting in my way. I'm just going to put it over here for now. All right, so I have 2 or more ellipses, 2 or more stars. It doesn't specify how many points it wants on it. So let's go ahead and choose the star. And I love this color. Oh, it's going to change my text again, right? Because I have my text selected. So let's hit V, go back to our selection tool and deselect. All right, so we're going to click on to the star. And let's add a few. I want a whole bunch of points on this thing. Yes, like that. Let's change the color. And let's add a few of those. Oh, I don't like that one there. Here. All right. So we have some stars, crazy looking stars. All right, so take that off. 2 or more polygons. Let's add some polygons on. You can make them any which way, any color you like, as many sides as you want. This is your design, so I'm going to do a few small ones here. I don't want triangles, so I'm going to bump this guy up. 7. I think I'll do another one with 10. And then maybe, because I have to have 2 or more, maybe 1 more with, let's do 15. What is that? That's almost going to look like a circle. Little bumps on the edges, right? All right. So we have those items. I don't really care for that one very much, so I like this guy. I'm gonna make another copy of him. Let's just do 3 of those. And let's get rid of that. All right, so we have those 3, and then we're also going to, what's the next item, guys, on our list? Is give each a different size, color, or type of stroke, i.e. a dash mark. So let's get those off. Let's see what kind of strokes we want to add to these. So who remembers what the stroke is? It's the square on the opposite side. So let's double click this and pick some colors for our strokes. I'm going to give it a black outline. And let's bump it up a bit so it's real thick. So about 5. Let's do the same to this one. And bump that up to 5. Stroke and 5. All right. I think it would be neat to have, this is driving me nuts, I need these all the same. I love that now Adobe has these little guides that pop up that help you to make sure that everything is in line. Very helpful. All right. So I'm going to maybe select all these and we'll add a stroke to all of these. I was just holding down the shift and clicking on each to give it, to select more than one. I'm going to switch this up to the dash. So the where you do that, you have a few different options. You can come over here and choose one of the linings here to give it a different outline. You can also choose from the drop down there. And then also where you're going to find the dashes is you need to come to your stroke panel here. If you do not see it, remember to come up to your windows and find it there. So here you can add dashes. And of course you can add as many, changing the number, and that would be the points in between. I think that looks kind of cool. Awesome. All right. So they just need to be different colors from the directions. It's just saying that they need to be different colors, types, strokes, whatever you want creatively. And then we're going to arrange the shapes into an interesting design on the artboard. You may combine the shapes if you would like for a more interesting design. So guys, this is where the fun design part comes in, and you get to arrange your layout any way that you like, depending on what you want to do. Woo, I don't want to stretch that out. So have fun with this. Do something different. Try to challenge yourself. Move things around. Have fun with it all. Really practice using, I don't want this anymore. Using the tool, seeing what you can come up with. Really, I'd like to be able to see that you are not just dropping things on the screen, but you're actually thinking about them in a layout sort of fashion, and that you want to create a unique and creative layout. But again, it's completely up to you. This is your work, so have fun with it. Learn as much as you can. And of course, reach out if you have questions. So I could just definitely mess around for quite a while, but we have one more artboard to go. And our last one is our Artboard 3. This one is going to be the most challenging, guys, because it's really going to require you to use a lot of new skills that you may not have yet. And this is where the learning comes in. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. And let's see, create a new layer and place a JPEG provided below. So on the assignment page has all of the different items that you can use for this page 3. There's a dog, a bear, cats, whichever one you like. If you want to use a different image, just email me, let me know. I don't want to hold back your creativity. You just need to communicate with me. All right, so the first thing, we're going to create a new layer. So let's come over to our layers. All of that other artwork is all on this first layer that we created. So Artboard 1 and Artboard 2 are all on that layer. So we're going to come here and click New Layer. And from here, we are going to place, we're going to import the image that we downloaded from the assignment page. So let's go in and go to Place. So we have, right here, sorry. Sometimes those things get lost in here. It's also, you can use a shortcut as well, but don't worry about the shortcuts yet, guys. You have plenty of time in your career to get those shortcuts down. So I'm going to choose a kitty cat 3 and just place it onto the board. Now we need to change this. It says to convert the new layer template to a template layer and rename it template. So from here we have this item selected with our selection tool. We have the layer selected, and we're going to come over to this little 4 line here, and it gives us additional options, and then we're going to choose template. Basically all that's doing is it's making it a little bit lighter in color, and it's locking it for us. So let's double click on the name and name it template. All right. And then from here, so let's see, we created a new layer and we placed one of the images. Done. Let's remove that. We converted a new layer to a template layer and renamed it template. Done. Now we're going to create a second new layer and rename it final artwork. So let's come back over, and you know how to add a new layer and name it final artwork. I double clicked so it opened it up. Final artwork. You can choose whatever color you like for the outlining of it. You have a few other options here. Usually the default is easy enough to start out with. All right, so final artwork. And now this is where you're going to finish the artwork by adding on your own fills and strokes. So we will create the file. We will use shapes. So creating a second layer, we have done. So now we're going to using the move, shape, and Pathfinder tools, recreate the provided artwork. Make sure that you're on your final artwork layer. So anything that you create will be added to this layer. All right, so let's start recreating this kitty cat. So we'll start off with the Eclipse tool. Looks like that back circle is, let's get some gray going here. I think I'll start off with the ears. Those are kind of triangles, so let's get our, and choose 3 sides. Why do you think that triangle is not showing up? If you remember from Photoshop, it is because it is underneath this other layer. So we want to take this other layer, final artwork, and put it over top. So there's one of my ears. Tilt it a little bit. And let's put this ear up. And then on the back, we're going to create a circle, or ellipse. And that will go over top of those ears. And I can't quite see my template, so I'm going to bring these guys down a little bit. It does not have to be exact. Okay, guys, I just want to see that you are able to create shapes and make this, recreate the image. All right, so let's get a few of those. I'm thinking the eyebrows are next, or the cheeks. Let's stick with the gray, and we will just go right on to the next layer. Actually would be the ear, inside of the ear. So let's do another triangle. Make it a peachy cream color. You can make your kitty cat any way you like, as long as it looks as close to this as possible. Colors don't have to be exact, guys. I'm not going to be too particular about that, so don't worry about matching up colors. All right, so let's next try to get the spots onto the kitty cat's face. And this is kind of where this new tool will come in, called the Pathfinder. You can also explore the Pathfinder tool and also the Shape Builder tool, which is fairly new. They added it here, the Shape Builder. And basically what both of these do is it allows you to combine shapes together to create new shapes. So for example, we're going to try to create this little half moon shape of that little spot on the kitty cat. So let me just show you some of these things in here. I don't want to get into too much detail of how to do this because, of course, you can use it, look at the course videos, and that will really step you through each one. But I would like you to make sure that you can do these things, because if you can't, then we're not meeting our learning objectives. So we really want to make sure that we know how to use each one of these tools. So I'm going to do the divide here. I have both of them selected. Now I can double click inside of it and take out just this shape. And I have 3 different shapes. And then go back to the final artwork. I'm going to recolor this one a gray color. I think it's a lighter gray. Let's go lighter. Almost a white. Awesome. So the same thing again. We can even stay within this group if we'd like. Add another circle. It's a little bit bigger. So you can combine them, unite them, and then it turns them all the same thing. That's not really what we want to do. You can also minus that shape, but then we're going to use the other, we're going to lose the outside of it. And we certainly don't want to do that either, right? You can also intersect them, and then you just get that final shape, but then it's erasing the other shape. And we don't want that. So the best tool, I think, for this item here is to divide it. And then that takes it into other pieces and divides it into the 3 different shapes. So I just want to get rid of that shape. Awesome. And so let's go back to the final artwork. And if you saw, I just clicked all the way through. And I'm going to come back to my layers. See where I'm at. I have my final artwork. Awesome. So now I just need to add some of the details, other pieces of it. So let's pick another darker gray. We'll do some of these little eyebrows. And go back to our select tool. And you tilt it a little bit. I don't like that one. I like things to be a little symmetrical, so. All right, and then we'll also do the eyes. I'm gonna make those black. You can make yours any color as long as it looks fairly realistic. Now, how do we get it to be that shape, guys? You're gonna need to start using your deselect, direct selection tool. And coming in, and you have all these different anchor points to allow you to shape items to your liking. You probably did this in Photoshop class. You're going to be doing a lot of it in Illustrator, so I get as much practice in as you can with these. So you hold the anchors, you can twist them. If you want to move just one of them, you hold down the option and you can move just one of the anchors. But practice, practice, practice makes perfect, guys. So try to practice this as much as you can using the pen tool and using those direct selects for that. How does that eye look? Look okay? All right, let's add another one. I want it to be the same, so I'm just going to copy and paste it in. It looks kind of just like that nose too, so I'm gonna bring that the same shape in and woo, twisted it up, huh? I'm going to come in and direct select. And let's shape it around a little bit. Ooh. Want to hold the option. All right, that looks like a kitty cat nose. Good enough for now. I can tend to get a little too detailed on things. Here's a line tool. I'm gonna maybe use the arc tool maybe to create those. And we of course need some stroke to it. So let's add colored stroke. I always sometimes find it's easier to just copy and paste the new thing in. Rotate that. Okay, and then we need some whiskers. So let's make whiskers a different color. All right, I'm going to use that line tool again. I think she needs 3 whiskers. I'll give her another one, a little short, stubby one. I don't like that guy. Oh, that's a straight tool. I don't want straight anymore. Certainly don't want a straight. Go back to our anchor. Just okay. All right, so I want all 3 of those again. Put these on this side. If you hold down Shift, it allows you to deselect the items. All right. What do you think? I think I need to curve the kitty's ears will be the one last thing. How do you think I do that? How would I change a point or curve on a line? You need to use the direct selection tool, and we're going to need to change that anchor right there. So we'll double click it, hold, and allow it to, we want to Make it curved. So anchor, and we want to, where's the anchors at, guys? Oh, I hit option and created a second one. So we want to convert selected to a curve. There you go. And then you can, of course, move that around if you wanted a little bit more of a softer point. And let's go over this guy and switch him over to anchor point to smooth. And zoom back out. This guy needs to come back over a little bit. And I'm such a perfectionist, I could sit here and make this totally perfect, but I'm not going to do that because I want this demo to be short and sweet and to the point. So let's see, let's make sure that we did all of the things that we need to do using the move shape pathfinder, recreate the provided artwork. Finish the artwork by adding your own fills and strokes. Awesome. Okay, so those are all done. And now we can submit the assignment. And going back to your directions, always make sure that you save the file the way that you are required to. That's the way that you're asked. You actually get points for naming it correctly. So let's do file, save as, or just save. Probably should have did that before we started working, right? So it's going to be DES assignment 1, your first name and your last name, and .ai. Okay, and save. Gives you a few options to create a PDF and do some of these other things, but just keep it at the default for now and click OK. So that's it for your assignment 1. Reach out to me if you have any questions, problems, needs, concerns, and happy designing, guys. Take care. Bye.